This gentleman here, brought to you by Vertex Pistons, races the KTM for the RM ATV MC KTM squad. It's Joey Savatgy. What's up, man? How are you?
Hello.
What's going on?
Nothing. I was just listening to the confusing math equation.
Okay, so
yeah, we're
we're gonna. What do you think of that? So you're gonna take your 5.7 qualifying times or whatever.
That's gonna be a hard no for me.
Okay. Okay.
It's already hard enough to do one fast lap, let alone twice. So I just think, hey man, fastest, whether it's first or second practice, it's fastest.
Okay, fair enough.
Can you imagine trying to figure that out? Like who qualified? Like who gets top 36? Like those 30th to 45th can be like, I don't fucking know. Just show up to the LCQ. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did I make it?
Right.
You need 3/10 to get you from 8th overall to 4th overall.
Yeah, really, right? So Pulp Mex Fantasy, perhaps you heard of it. It's a very exciting game that a lot of people play. So we look at practice times, in the morning to pick you jerkies for the race, right? You have to get it into a certain amount to get double points, in which we all want, and then you go off your practice times. As far as you can go off anything you want, but for the smart players, we look at your practice times in the morning. But Joey, for you, let me ask you this: how often? So there's 12 nationals, there's 24 practice sessions. Out of 24 practice sessions in a national season, how many do you get your ideal clean lap that you want? Like, that nobody crashes on it, nobody gets in your way, blah blah. How many?
I would say never. I mean,
okay.
Always,
I was going to say 3.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I always feel it's very rare to get all the segments in a row, let alone you feel like you did a perfect lap. So, I mean, I guess if you're going based off of segments, it probably happens, I would say probably 6-7 times maybe, where you get all your, quote, fastest segments in a row. But
yeah, okay, yeah. As
far as feeling like a lap that you got that was perfect, that's hard. I don't think anybody ever feels like, oh, that lap was perfect.
Yeah, well, I don't mean like a perfect lap, but I mean, yeah, like a lap where you lay down your fastest segments. Yeah.
Nobody got in your way. Like
yeah.
For me personally, I'm not very good at that. But I mean, I look at practice times quite frequently, and guys like AC and Kenny, they're really good at putting them all together in one lap. So
yeah.
I guess it depends on the person, but yeah, for me, right. I mean, if I could, push 6, I think that would be pretty good. I'm not even sure if I've had that this year, to be honest, though.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things, like you look at the times for Pulp Mex Fantasy, and you're like, okay, Joey's 6th in this session, and he's 13th in the second session. So, okay, like what happened, or did he get a benefit of something in the first session, and he's actually a 13th place guy, or is he a 6th place guy, or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's tough. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for anybody who's trying to bet on dirt bike racing right now. It's probably not very easy.
Right. Yeah, it could be, right?
So I say that, but the top 3, I feel like, is becoming much more clear now than it was at the beginning. Of realistically, who's got the speed? I think there's those couple guys that are, I would say, a little bit above everyone else.
Right.
But outside of that, I think from 4th to about 10th is like it's kind of just a toss-up, honestly.
Right.
Even deeper than 10th, right? I think there's like 12 or so.
It's pretty gnarly. Like Rod Bell crushed it last year, and he's not doing as well this year, but it's deeper. And I'm like, hey, dude, like, what do you think? He's like, I feel like I'm riding like I did last year. He's like, it's just so crazy. And he was a 10th to 12th place guy last year, and he really can't break top 15 much, So
it's gnarly right now.
Joey Savatgy on the Pulp MX Show, presented by Decal Works and Motorsport.com, and of course the folks at Fly Racing. Chuck, you've known Joey for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
How far you guys like? What are we talking?
Since just when he was getting on big bikes, really.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I was at MSR, and he was MSR's top amateur guy in like 2009, probably. Joey.
So
this is pre
something like that, yeah.
Suzuki.
What's the race team that had the wheels, the KTM?
J-Star?
Yeah.
Way before that.
Way before that. I was thinking it was J-Star.
No, this was Rockstar. This is Suzuki Amateur. Joey is a Red Bull kid still at that time, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Long time.
He's a Red Bull kid. And back
not too long, unfortunately, for him.
Yeah, he was a Red Bull kid. Like him and like Cooper Webb was on probably Super Mini still then. As like those were like and like Brandon Mays. They were.
I was a Red Bull athlete in 08. 07 or 08, I believe.
Oh, that must have been pretty cool as a kid to be Red Bull.
Yeah, dude, it was rad. Like, honestly, I mean, Red Bull's still, like, I would argue probably one of the most elite energy drink sponsors, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Just because of how hard their stuff is to get. You can buy Monster, Rockstar stuff anywhere, but it's really hard to find authentic, or that even looks remotely authentic Red Bull stuff. So, I mean, at the time, dude, I was 13.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Malott, I don't exactly remember how it unfolded, but when that whole deal came about, I was stoked.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've got a Red Bull Stu helmet from Hammer in the studio here. Yeah. It's epic.
Did you steal it, or did he give it to you?
No, he gave it to me. Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing. Stu from San Diego.
What about a Ricky Carmichael helmet?
No Carmichael helmet. Carmichael jersey, though.
Ooh.
And they've buried the beef.
Yeah, we're good. We're good, Joey. We're good.
They're boys.
I still have to bust your chops about it, though.
Yes, please do. Yeah, that's
Do you think that Stu helmet's been crashed in?
No.
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe.
I guess when he did crash, it was good.
Yeah.
Like, visors were ripped off. There wasn't, like, much.
Right.
You knew.
He didn't have a lot of tip overs.
Not a lot of tip overs.
No, not much, right? Hey, Joey, I was watching the battle, unfortunately for you, but I was watching the battle at Southwick with Dino and you in that second moto, and Dino got you, and you guys were pinning it. It was at late in the moto, last lap, you were just like, come on, Dean, stop it.
Dude, because I had fallen earlier in the race. I think I fell like 20 minutes in, and dude, I struggle. I was struggling at that place.
Mm-hmm.
I've always kind of struggled there, but since I moved to Claremont, I've gotten a lot better.
Right.
But I was definitely fighting some things, and I had a decent start and was trying to stay last on the guys in front of me, and then I fell over. And then when you fall over, dude, you get hot, and just the whole thing. At that point, like, I wasn't necessarily tired. My muscles were just like they were weak, and I didn't really ever make an announcement or nothing. But I crashed the week before High Point and kind of hurt my shoulder. So I'm nursing a shoulder too, and then falling, and just the whole thing, dude. Dean, I heard him behind me. He was yelling the last lap. I was like, "Come on, dude, it's for 10. Leave me alone."
Yeah,
and
go away.
I made a mistake. I slid out, and then he got me, and I was like, "Oh God, dude, whatever." But yeah, dude, it's crazy. You battle all the way to the last lap, and it's for 10th.
Well,
how the field is.
And then you look at the overall. That pass, Dean would have got 13th, I think, overall. But with that point, it got him into 9th overall.
Wow.
Like, which makes his day look a lot better, right? Like if you're him, you know. So it's just one of those things. I was standing there, and I was like, I mean, 30 minutes at 2 is hard, and especially when you crash. And I was watching it, and I was like, this is cool. Just two guys, like, you know.
And nobody else is really watching it.
Nobody
like, TV's not watching it.
Right.
Nobody's paying attention, and that's all for pride.
They're zooming in on Ferrandis' bike smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And let's be real. Like, Dean and Joey, they're not getting, like, 10th place, 9th place. They're not getting bonuses for this or that. Who give the AMA purse money's $9.22 different. Like, not a big deal. But they want to beat each other.
I'll bill Dean for half of that because
split it.
Paper for him. He might have to slide me a couple $. It all works out.
It's in the check in the mail with Eli's check.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Yeah. That one got lost.
Have you taken much flack for that or no? Kind of not. It's been fine, right? Like nothing.
Nah, man, it is what it is. I've said what I've had to say about it, and it is what it is.
Right.
I think people almost liked kind of the openness.
I agree.
I think they
totally
really
agree. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's the thing. Like people, I'm a hard person to understand because I've been down the route of being a very open-spoken person and just saying what I want, and it's bit me before. Mm-hmm. So, I've kind of, as I've gotten older, been a very closed book, kind of just stay to myself type person, which is not necessarily the best thing. But, so then when I do speak out and, tell the truth and how I feel about it, then people are very quick to be like, oh, he's complaining, he's bitching, he's doing this and that. And I'm like, and that exact backlash is some of the reason why I stopped being the person that I once was, is just because, you get tired of people just constantly ragging on you. So for me, like, if I just stay at home and I do my work and I go to the races and I do the best that I can do, then that's all I can do. And I go home and, go back to work and do it again. But I like being open. I wish I could be more open, but you just get tired of people.
That actually leads me to one of my questions that I was going to ask Chuck. I have it written down here. Like, you've known Joey for a long time. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Joey, you don't do a ton of interviews. You don't. But low key, Chuck, Joey's funny.
He is.
He's sarcastic. Totally. He's funny.
Totally.
But you don't really get it. Yeah.
It's hard to interview people who get 10th.
Well, no, I mean, stop
trust me. Hey, I've been, as you guys know, I've won races and been there before, and there's a lot more media involved when you're closer to the front than when you're in 10th, which understandably so. You know, most people don't want to see what's going on in 10th. They want to know who's winning, and I get that side of it. But
for me, as a media guy, I'm happy to talk to 10th, 12th, 15th. It doesn't matter to me. I want to get as many people's stories as I can so I can get the best picture of what happened at the race. You know what I mean? That's why my whole thing about media guys, and I've taken criticism from this, but I don't care. I won't back down. If you want to report on the races, go to the fucking races. That's when you know what happened.
You see these 9th place passes by Dean's.
I see Dean getting Joey for 9th on the last lap, and I see this guy crashing late, and that Harrington's dude, his bike broke on the last lap, like with 3 corners to go, and he lost some spots. Like, this is the stuff you'll never see if you just sit on the couch and report on the races. Go to the races. So,
go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, go ahead, Joey.
No, yeah.
Oh,
I agree.
I was going to say, I think the point Joey was trying to make, too, is like when he's winning races, he's getting interviews on TV and whatever. Like, right, you get a podium interview, you win the race, or you get third, whatever.
Yeah.
You've got, 15 seconds to get in and out of your point, mention some sponsors, talk about whatever they ask you. Like, it's really hard to open up and be honest in that time frame. And if Joey, I'm speaking for Joey here, I feel bad, but if Joey goes on a rant about how he crashed last week and hurt his shoulder and, he really wasn't feeling good, people go, oh, he's fucking making excuses and whatever. If he says, oh, it was a great race, I did really good, my Dunlop tires hooked up thanks to whatever, people are like, oh, he's just a robot and doesn't say anything. Like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't that 10-second interview.
I would 100% advise Joey to go back to the way he used to be and ignore the people that say excuses, because even look at Adam. Adam right now can't hang on, right? He's got some sort of nerve issue, whatever, and he's talking about it.
He's baby Jesus.
He's baby Jesus. People are saying he's complaining, like I'm hearing it from people. Oh, Adam, another excuse for Adam.
Yeah.
Chris Betts wants to fight all these guys.
Yep.
So I get it, but Adam's like, screw it, I don't care. I'm being transparent with you
got to
guys.
pick a way, right? Like you got to go one way or the other.
To me, you got to pick a way, and either way, you're going to get criticism. So pick the way that
is best for you.
I think
that you like.
That you like, yeah. Pick the way you like.
I would agree, and I try not to. Joey and I don't talk much about this kind of stuff, right? Because we just, I think we leave that aside. But if I were advising him and he cared to listen, like I would say, be more open. Who gives a shit? You're going to catch shit either way, so whatever. You might as well.
There we go, Joey. We figured it out.
Yeah, it's just, and two, like, it's. Yeah, if you're doing well, also, dude, it's so easy to grow your image and everything else. It's a lot more work to kind of, for me, I guess I would say dig myself out of the hole. I shouldn't say a hole, just the persona that people have given me is this negative person. It's a lot harder to dig out of that when you're not getting TV time. I will say that, but trust me, I would love to go back to being the more open person, and it is something that I work on. But dude, it's become such a habit for me to just be a closed book and just kind of show up, do my stuff, and leave, that it's become like habit. So as anyone knows, dude, when you have a habit or a bad habit, it's hard to break that habit. So it is something that, like, I've tried to work on, and I tried doing like the vlog thing, but dude, it's just, I can't fake that. Like, as much as I want to do the vlogs and stuff, it's just not me. Like, I can't fake that because that's not who I am. It's just not me. But I don't disagree with any of you guys. Like, I need to work on getting back to the more open side of it. And it's not that I care what people say. It's just that I got tired of such backlash, and also being in the place that I was in with how Vegas ended and everything. Like, I just kind of silenced all that. And the only thing for me to have peace was just to stop talking about things and just be very minimal, because I didn't have to worry about people talking and all the backlash. So it's just been a combination of things as to why the path that I've gone down, which, trust me, it's not the most marketable, but and I'm aware of it. It's easier to sit here and be like, oh, I'm going to fix it. It's not that easy. Right. It's a process, and it's something that takes time. So.
Yep. No, I that's honest. That's honest talk, and I appreciate it on the show here. So we shouldn't look for you and Bogle to be any fashion spreads then? Like, you guys doing, walk-ins?
I don't do the swag drip for outdoor, man.
Right.
I'm not trying to walk through the pits with nice shoes on in the mud, so I say that for the concrete pits.
You seem to get along with Justin pretty well, though. Every time I'm around there, you guys seem like you have a good bond going on.
Yeah, I've known Justin since I was probably before I was a Red Bull athlete, we obviously amateur races always hung out, and him and I are really good friends. So been to his house. Him and I and Brad Fraser were at his house one time, and Brad gave us all the flu. We were all throwing up. It was a good time. But I've known Justin for so long. He's a really good friend, and obviously it helps when your teammates are someone that you get along with. And so it's all good in the hood.
We had Michael Byrne on a couple weeks ago. I'm a fan of Burner. When he raced, I was buddies with him, and man, he does a good job. He's a smart dude, huh?
I agree. I think it sucks because like reverting back to what I said earlier, the habits that you form, whether they're good or bad, are hard to break. And over the last 2 years, I had developed some bad habits on the motorcycle. So Burner was very quick to point them out. And dude, it honestly took me until the last round of Supercross this year to kind of even be remotely close to breaking those habits. And it was one of those things where during the race it was so forceful that I was like literally talking to myself every time
really?
to break them, just because it's so hard. Everything is so instinctual that when you're doing it wrong, but it's what your instinct is, dude, it's so hard to break. And he's very smart with all that stuff, and he sees it, and he's been there. And I think that's one of the biggest things too. He's raced at the professional level, and he gets it. So when he speaks, it has a little bit more weight than listening to somebody who hasn't ridden.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the world of Burner. I think he's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. He's worked with a lot of guys, and then he's made the podium, at the highest level. So he knows what he's doing there. Hey, so 83 compound. Anybody new over there? Anything new happening?
I don't know, man. I wasn't there today. I couldn't tell you.
What about like last week or anything?
Let's see. We rode at a couple guys showed up last week, but we rode at Croom. That's a good place. You ever been there before?
Oh yeah, Croom. You been to Croom, Chuck?
I have not.
You never been to Croom?
No, sir. I have not.
Man, good time. There was a few of us. There was both the Lawrences. I was there. Cooper was there, and then there's like a whole bunch of
Justin Cooper or like Cooper Webb?
Cooper Webb.
Okay.
Do you think Cooper Webb might be there this week?
Like if you don't go to Croom? Like if you ride at 83?
Yeah, if you just ride at 83, do you think Cooper Webb will be there?
I'm not sure, man.
Okay.
Maybe Dan would know.
You think Dan would know?
Dan might know.
Dan knows everything.
I know all those guys go to Croom when it rains. So.
Okay. All right. I mountain biked in Croom this year when we were in Orlando. Really good mountain biking back there.
Really?
Yeah.
It was fun until the quads showed up.
The quads ruin everything, don't they?
The quad locals, they didn't care. They were literally going backwards, and we were going 75 miles an hour down straightaways, and they just
like 450 Supercross champion Cooper Webb and Joey Savatgy, career number 17, and then Billy Bob on his quad.
Going backwards.
On his
Billy Bob and his wife on the quad, and they did not.
On his what's the Suzuki like King Quad with the big mud tires? That's how I'm picturing it. This isn't a Banshee out there. This is
that's awesome.
But that was our time when we knew it was time to leave.
We got to go. Yeah, exactly. Vertex Pistons bringing you Joey Savatgy on the show. Email sales@pivotworks.com to get a deal on that. So Supercross, I felt like there were some really good moments for you. Like you said, maybe some bad habits that you had to break, but there were some really good rides there, and I feel like you're slowly. It's like it's there, and then you kind of have a shitty race, but then it comes back. Like I feel like you're close to getting back to where you were.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, honestly this year has been a good building year, but I truly believe it could have been a lot better had I been able to, and if I can figure out my starts. I'm trying to figure out how to talk in past tense and current tense at the same time. But dude, honestly, like I've struggled with my starts this year more than ever before, and it's weird because
you're generally a good starter. Yeah.
Like, dude, like I've whole shot on that Suzuki, I've whole shot on that Cowie, like a whole shot on Mitch's bike, like on that Rockstar KTM way back in the day. So like I've whole shot, on everything that I've ridden. For some reason, it's just been a struggle, and how much of that is the missing a year, and maybe the confidence isn't as high as it used to be. Like I still feel confident when I line up, but like at this point, it's become one of the biggest issues I have. And not saying that if I got the whole shot that we'd be on the podium, but getting the whole shot would be putting myself more up front and forcing myself in that situation and getting my feet wet. And it's hard to get your feet wet when you're not putting yourself up front, you know. So regardless of how I felt, I haven't had the time up front that I need to really remember what it's like. But, you know, I do feel like the year is building and it's getting better. And honestly, I do feel like I'm a couple of good starts away from, you know, breaking through to that next level for me. Whether that next level for me is consistently inside the top 7, and then, you know, forward from that, I do believe that is possible and it's going to happen. It's just me trying to, you know, figure a few things out with myself with the motorcycle. And honestly, the biggest thing is just get my starts figured out.
Well, I think for a prime example of that is like AP was having a so-so year, and then he started ripping starts and leading laps. And like around Daytona, and it like literally flipped his year, right? Like literally, like, oh wow, look at AP. He's running up front. He's leading laps. Oh, this week he got passed on lap 2. Now this week he gets passed on lap 7. You know what I mean? Like you could see it.
Dude, it's people always, you know, you always hear the analogy fake it till you make it, but unfortunately with this, it's not something you can fake. Like you have to do it. And that's what I've tried to explain, you know, to people before. It's like I truly believe that on my best days that I still have the speed to be a top runner and a contender. But I can say that all I want until I do it and put myself in that position. It's just there's something that mentally it's just not the same. You can't fake that being up front and leading laps feeling. You can tell yourself all day long, but doing it is something that is completely different, and you can't fake that, you know. And it's just, you know, he's a perfect example. He had an okay year, and then next thing you know, he figured his starts out, started leading a couple laps, and then, you know, it's like a completely different person.
Do you know what you're doing next year? Do we know? Is it way too early?
It's too early, man.
Right.
What are we in, July? Yeah, we're way too early.
I figured, but
Joey's putting deals together in December.
Right. I figured I would ask.
But for real, on that topic though, like there's something to be said for getting things done early and then staying on similar equipment and building. Like you've gone through 3 teams now in 3 years. Is that where we're at?
Yeah. Yep.
Like that's an overlooked deficit that you're up against, and not many people take into account. Like that's hard to do.
Well, that's why I give Malcolm props. I've mentioned this a few times. Malcolm is now going on 4 teams in 4 years,
and
he's performed on the new bike. I've been like, that's tough.
It's really tough.
Yep.
And that's the thing, dude. Like all these guys have settings from previous years to go off of. You know, like if they're struggling, oh, dude, let's just go back to how we ended last year. Like let's see what it felt like. And for me, it's like, hey, can we try maybe his setup? You know, like I don't have a setup from last year to go off of, so everything is kind of it's a guessing game. And I think that's something that I took for granted also on that lights bike. Even though the bike changed over the years, you were still familiar with the people you worked with, and they kind of knew what you liked and didn't like. So, you know, obviously 3 different brands and 3 different years is not easy. And I would agree. I think Malcolm has done a great job at doing that. You know, it's just it's hard.
Yep.
It's easy to take that for granted or not even think about it to the average person. But, you know, there's a lot that goes on into building a motorcycle around you and what you like. And, dude, honestly, a lot of times you can't get that done in 1 year. Like, it's like a process of a year or 2 year collectively and knowing how the motorcycle works. And it's hard to figure out how it works if you're constantly on a different one.
Yeah, especially this one, too. I forgot when the Blake Baggett thing happened, and it was like, hey, Savatgy's on the team, and that was late.
Super late.
Yeah,
like photo
I
shoot
kind of
day
forgot
late.
about that. Right. Like, yeah, it was like late. Even never mind switching bikes, you even got to the team late. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that was like they called me on a Saturday. I was at the golf course, so I think it was on the weekend, and they were like, hey, can you fly to California on Wednesday? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Showed up. And they wouldn't let me ride that day. But, yeah, I mean, dude, it was last minute.
Right.
That never helps. That never helps either, you know, when you don't have the correct or the optimal amount of prep time leading into it.
No, not ideal for sure. Looking forward to Millville? What do you think?
I like, dude, honestly, I like every track we go to. The only one that I've really struggled with a lot has been Southwick in the past.
Right.
And for me, honestly, as much as I struggled and have been nursing my shoulder, like, yeah, it's nothing to write home about getting 10th, but as far as comfortability, like I felt a lot better this year than I ever have before, and a lot of that is just because my location moved. Everything down here, and I feel like in the Claremont area with Croom. I mean, Croom is pretty deep sand, but
yep.
We go to Dade City sometimes. The 83, like it all has a similar hard base underneath with sand on top. So I've gotten a lot better at that track, but I like Millville. I've won there before, and I've always had good vibes there. And obviously, Washougal the following weekend, I've won there with some pretty high scores before. So the next couple of races have been good to me.
I think Millville is the best track on the circuit. I really do. I think it's got everything you want. It's awesome.
I would agree.
Yeah, I think it's a hell of a track. Well, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Good times, and good luck with everything that's been going on for you this year. I feel like you're close. Yeah, you're close, but not.
Yeah, we're close. We're close to improving. Like I said before, those top 3 guys I think are on a little bit different of a level than fourth through 10th.
Yep, I would agree.
Or 4th through 11th. Like Dylan, Kenny, and Eli. Sometimes they have that next level in them. But yeah, I feel like I'm close to improving for sure.
Before we let you go, we were talking about Eli before we got you on. And you've done. How do you get so much better in an hour? What happens, Joey? Have you ever done that?
Dude, I'll tell you what. If he could figure that out and do it for both hours or both motos, we've seen it in the past. It's cool, but dude, I don't know. Honestly, like it's mind blowing.
But have you had a moto like that where you sucked so bad and then finish on the podium the next moto with very little changes?
Dude, going back to 250 days, I went 1-1 at Hangtown and went like 7-8 at Glen Helen, and then I just sucked. My starts were bad there, and I rode terrible at Glen Helen. And then you go to Colorado, and I should have gone 1-1. I got greedy, and I tried to murder everybody and crashed and went 2-1, I think, there, or 3-1 for the win. But it's either I'm either on or I'm having not the greatest weekend. I don't know how you can have that moto sucked out and then just kill everybody. I don't know how that works, but he's pretty good at it.
Yeah, and he's not just winning; he's decimating the field in these motos, in these second motos. Right.
We're 50+ seconds, just gone.
Right.
And dude, perfect example. What happened in Colorado?
Yeah, I don't know, man. You tell me.
Dude, I passed him.
You dropped him. You dropped him.
Yeah, and Bogle almost passed him in the second moto, and then, I don't know, completely different guy the following weekend. I don't understand it.
Right. Got a text from an industry guy right now that said Savatgy has the most underrated style out there. Okay.
I wouldn't go that far.
I like it.
I'll take it. I mean, I thought Ferry's style was better, but Tim Ferry. But hey, that's just me.
Yeah, I wouldn't say my style is that good. I would say I have pretty good technique, but if we're talking about style, I'm not the guy that just you snap pictures of me look good. I gotta work for that one. So, but hey, tell that industry person I appreciate it.
All right, will do, man. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. We'll see you this weekend at Millville, man.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. That's Joey Savatgy, everybody, on the Pulp MX show.